Hey y'all, I'm back. It's Jamie, that's me here, and I'm back for us to talk a little bit about Love Island USA. All right. Last night's episode was a complete shocker. We know a lot did not happen in the episode, but one of the biggest, yes, one of the biggest things to happen last night was Miss Cierra leaving the villa due to personal reasons. Okay. But if you guys have been clued in on social media, a lot of you guys are aware of some social media posts that were made by her that resurfaced itself. And unfortunately, for her, it resulted in her having to exit. She used a particular word that is very harmful to the Asian community. And yeah, the people were not here for it. They took a stance. And this is where we are. All right. We got Ulissa up out of there at the top of the season. And now here it is, Miss Cierra. And I can imagine what's going on in her mind because girl, you literally got down to the wire. You were like this close, ma'am. Now you probably weren't going to win the show, but it's still the fact that you almost made it to the end, right? And you're caught up because of a racial slur that was used that you thought just was, I don't know, okay, because I'm learning new information. It seems like, she just thought that it was just like a certain thing that she could use to apply to herself, but at the same time you're learning that she was made aware, okay, that this was not a good word for her to use. All right. Now, I don't think she's used it since that time, but I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look at the dates. But don't worry, we have that coming up in this video. Now, since she has left the villa, I guess her parents have or may not have talking to her. I would want to believe that they have talked to her. Whatever it was, they did put out a statement on her behalf, right? Or more so on their family's behalf. They had to take a stance as a family because ain't no telling what other jobs or what they have going on that is in jeopardy. So they wanted to take a stance and let everybody know they understand what she said and how harmful it was, to the Asian community and, apologizing. But they also want her to come out on her own and give her own apology in her own words. But they also are telling people you cannot, combat all of this with you being hateful in her comments. And we understand you may not like what it is that she had to say, but for you guys to come to social media and to just give threats and all of this is just really uncalled for. And you know what else is interesting is the fact that her former castmate, Miss Belle A, okay, Miss Belle Dash A, Miss Bella, she also was partnered up with Nick in the very beginning. And the irony of it all is that Cierra took Nick from her. Okay. And she came out and she pretty much just highlighted that she is, a part of the Asian community. And she did not like what she said. She wanted to give her time to come out and address certain things. But she says, as more posts and things begin to go viral, that is when she's made a decision to just part ways. Let me unfollow her, and just let you guys know where it is that I stand on what it is that Cierra did very clearly. Okay. She also does the same thing as the parents as far as telling people to back off just a bit. Don't be so mean and hateful in the comments the way that you guys have been. Not y'all, but them. Okay. So that is what was being said over there on the social media. Now, there are just two little things that I snatched from the Twitter for us to, read and get into. But then I also have a clip that I want us to check out because a lot of people are reacting to what has taken place. You guys can continue the conversation down below, but I do want us to go ahead and hop into this, okay? So the first thing is somebody says Cierra getting kicked out of the villa and have her man stolen by Olandria. That's what you get for standing behind Taylor and betraying my sister. Loser. Now listen, I feel like she kind of betrayed herself in my personal. Just a little bit, okay? Because you stood behind that man, and unfortunately for you, and then here's the thing, you stood behind Taylor in support of Nick, but when it was time for you to leave the villa, Nick is still there. And I personally feel like, as a man that engaged in sexual acts with this woman in front of everybody on more than one occasion, that it seemed to be a everyday thing, a reoccurring thing. I think it is messed up for you to continue to stay behind, knowing that you've explored her in ways beyond what some of the other people in the villa have explored each other. and then for you to partner up with Olandria, like that is very messy. That is very messy. Now I understand that Nick Olandria I know you guys don't care. I know you so team Nick Olandria and stuff, and that's fine. I'm more so just talking about Nick right now, and the fact that he explored her in ways that a lot of other people have not explored their partners, and you've sat up here and you still in the villa while your girl is gone. Okay. And shout out to GTGEETEE. He also does reviews. He's been doing a great job, doing his reviews of Love Island USA. And I'm so glad that he brought this up from season 3. And I forgot all about Shannon and Josh. How could I? Because I feel like Shannon did so much. She was doing like the whole lot. She was a little extra. I feel like Shannon had a little piece of hoodoo. But anywho, when his sister passed away on the show, I forgot all about this. I said, oh, yes, I remember that. I remember when his sister passed away. Shannon left too. And that is when you are that deeply connected with your partner that when something, I would say, like that, traumatic happens to them, you will want to go ahead and leave too. And being that Cierra had this particular situation, now I don't know if he was fully aware of what it is that she did exactly to the T. Well, she's leaving because of this, that, or if it's because, listen, some things took place. When she's ready to talk to you about it, she'll let you know. But at this time, we've learned some new information and she's going to have to leave the villa or whatever. So you would think if he's so in love and all of that, he probably would have just left with her. But instead, he chose to finish out his process because, again, in my personal, the goal was never for Nick to be with Cierra long term anyway. And I don't think the goal is for Nick to be with anyone long term. Anyway, that's just how I see it. A lot I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jami, Nick really likes Olandria. He really does. And I have no doubt. I'm sure he may like her. However, Nick has liked every single woman that has come in the villa and has given him attention. Let's not. Okay, so we shall see how that's gonna play out. We shall see, honey. So hopefully things. I don't see it working out that long. As I said, it's also giving Corey and Olivia, but y'all gonna do what y'all want to do, and best of luck to the Nicolandrians, right? But getting back to Cierra, because there was more where someone did come to the front. And they said, y'all don't want to hold Cierra accountable. You want to bully her. She was weird in the villa, but does it constitute the articles being written by big sites exposing the situation to more people? When there were people like Austin and Elin in there being praised for being funny. So basically, they're feeling like the standard you guys set for women are completely different than what you set for men. And Austin was exposed around the same time as Ulissa. However, he did remain in the villa and had a pretty good experience, so much so that he did leave the villa with a potential partner. All right. They go on to say, I'm not saying what she said wasn't bad. It's crazy, in fact. And her being friends with George, not a George Zimmerman defender, honey. Okay, Brooke Schofield was even crazier. But y'all need to attack these men like y'all love attacking the women for smaller reasons. Okay, so that is what the person ended up saying, and bring it to the front. I would love to hear you all's thoughts and comments about everything that we've talked about so far. All right. The next thing that I do want us to get into is a quick clip of some of the fans reacting to what has happened with Cierra leaving. So let us go ahead and check this out.
What the fuck?
Cierra. Damn.
Hi.
Hey, Boogie Butt. So, you gotta go. Like, today.
Oh my gosh, why? Why?
We found some really offensive things that you said on the internet, so you gotta get the boot, girl.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, plus it's kind of getting in the way of our Nicolandria storyline, so you gotta go.
Thank you for alerting me about this. You know, this is not behavior that I want to be exuding.
You know we're not filming,
I
right?
respectfully will leave the villa. Nick, baby, are you coming with me?
Landria, stop looking at me like that. Huh?
I'm leaving.
Yeah, whatever, babe. I'm so happy for you.
Are you gonna leave with me?
Hell no, my wife is here. No!
This was more abrupt than the Ulissa dumping by producers because all we got was that Cierra left the villa for personal reasons. Oh God, I suppose that's personal enough. And so is this. At least you have one friend who supports you. At the end of the day, I am glad that this is going to give Cierra a chance to at least respond to all of this rather than just come out from the villa and have it be laid out in front of her after coming off of the high of the finale. Was I shipping Nicolandria from the beginning? Yes. Was this how I wanted it to happen? Absolutely not. I wanted it to be so much more organic than this. Blame this on production or call it forced chemistry. I think what could have set this up better was if they had the movie night and then they had to watch the replay of Nick and Alandria and the chemistry and have them remember and have it be a reminder to the audience of the chemistry these two had. I think it would have set it up a little bit better, but they did what they had to do. However, while I don't know that they could have put it any other way, personal reasons is, well, I guess it's accurate.
Here's the thing with Cierra. Production had to send her home because they set that tone with Ulissa. Once they sent Ulissa home for her slur, they had to do the same for Cierra. You set that tone, you set that rule in the atmosphere. However, with Ulissa, we didn't know Ulissa. She would have been nothing. You were supposed to film every second of y'all telling Cierra she had to go. Cierra been here for a good little minute. You were supposed to show that black screen in the middle of the episode, in the middle of the night. Production grabbed Cierra for a chat. And you see Cierra rubbing her eyes. You know what's going on. You know it's serious when the production member with the black crew net and the headset, once they pull you for a chat, oh, it's serious. You were supposed to show production, yes, Cierra, you know, it's not looking good. We're gonna ask you to pack a bag. You're gonna have to leave. You were supposed to get that reaction because we here now. And from what a friend is telling me, if you're coupled up or if you closed off, most couples lead the show with them. So the fact Nick stayed, it's just like, wow, you could have left, but you didn't. You know, hopefully Cierra does make a statement about this, but at this point, wrap the season up because I feel like y'all planning to cancel Olympics. You know, y'all pulling up stuff from everybody's page. Just wrap this season up because the hatred is spilling into malicious intent. And that's not me defending anybody, but wrap this season up because once y'all get done, ain't nobody gonna have a good reputation.
As an Asian, you have every right to feel disrespected because why am I just finding out that somebody actually told Cierra back in 2024 that the C slur is not acceptable? And she really said, I don't give a fuck. The Asian community has every right to be roasted out and disrespected AF because this is clearly someone that doesn't care. Like, for the people who were trying to give her grace, like, oh, she maybe didn't know. First of all, she definitely knows. It's in her vocab. She said it not once, but twice, which means she probably says it more than not. So the fact that, like, makes me happy because then I'm just like, I knew y'all's feelings were valid because I was just like, I don't know, like, this is not funny, but it is because she thought she ate. She was like, okay, well, she was talking to this person and it's like, ooh, girl, like when she posted this story right here where she was like, I can also be a little, you know, when I laugh and smile. Oh, my chest always gets a jump scare when I like hear a slur. I'm just like, I'm excited. That's why you're losing followers. And by the time you get out of the villa, I better see your following count at band. Like none actually. Anyways, back there. And she was like, oh man, thankfully that's not how I used it. Oh my God. I knew this girl was pretentious AF. She's so like entitled and so nonchalantly annoying. She tries to pass it off as this like cool girl thing, but it's like you just look pretentious, uneducated, and just embarrassing. So yeah, looks like somebody has tried to educate her before. She really said, okay, and girl literally gave her a definition of what it means. And she's like, well, that's not how I used it. I was like, used to describe your features in a derogatory way. So I think that's what you meant, shawty.
Cierra and whoever was running her account really thought her old Instagram posts weren't going to come back and haunt her. And the internet said, oh, okay, bet. So let me get this straight. So in 23 and 24, she's just casually using racial slurs. Like, it's just a part of her vocabulary. And people even came out like with screenshots saying like, yo, like, this is a racial slur, like, take this down. She's like, oh, I didn't know, bet. But then you continue to use it. Girl, my girl, you doubled down and then had the nerve to go on Love Island USA in 2025 and acting like it was a clean slate. Like, what? Ma'am, your digital footprint is a size 15 and men's boots at that. And you know what kills me is like, you had time to like really study Love Island. You also had time to like literally clean slate everything, clean up your whole page, scrub everything. People forewarned you, multiple people, by the way, that, hey, like, yo, you're using a racial slur. Like, this is not cool. And you left it up. So I'm not understand like how you had time to do literally anything but sit there and think like, no, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. And now it's 2025 and you're getting ejected from the villa of public opinion, faster than you packed that little tiny water bottle, my girl. I know she is sick. You lost thousands of followers, you lost brand deals, and now you get to watch you get to watch Nick Olandria, my girl. You can't make this stuff up. Nick was really trying to act like he cared, and he was trying for like all of 2 seconds until Olandria came walking by, and he was like, oh, you know what? You know what? I did have my eye on Shawty. My man clicked his heels together at the recoupling. Cierra, that is not your man. And now you get to sit home and watch that man kiss Olandria in 4K. And you know what? You know what really is like so wild? It's like you didn't get exposed because you were messy in real time. You got exposed because the internet archives everything. It's giving congratulations. You played yourself. You really stood behind Taylor and then tried to give Olandria some weak ass apology. You really thought you had it in the bag. You played yourself so bad. And now you get to join Ulissa. So what do y'all think? Was it ignorance? Like, it couldn't be ignorance because like people told you. Or like, I don't know, I just don't get it. Like, did you really think like the internet wasn't gonna go like look and see like who you really are? Like, I'm just not understanding because baby, Google is forever. The receipts are receipting, and once you put something out there, you better be able to stand on it. Cierra fumbled a whole Love Island bag. A whole, like, she really had us fooled. Like, she really had us fooled. You fumbled. This might be the worst fumble in Love Island history. Like, this is very unfortunate, my girl. Baby, the Wi-Fi was strong, but the common sense was not. The common sense was not. So I guess we gotta get ready to see the tearful apology coming soon. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Meet me there. Let's discuss it. As always, thank you for watching. And yeah, follow me for more.
After Cierra getting kicked out of the island / villa, I can't help it but think about the fact that she lost her chance of winning 50K. And not only that, but she literally lost her job because Cierra was one of the few people that came in here with a job of being a content creator, like / influencer. So she also lost that. She lost Instagram followers. She lost her chance of like working with brands. She literally lost everything, which is a little lesson for influencers and content creators that no matter how much you erase, whatever you do or say will always come back and hunt you in the back. Because literally that's what happened with Cierra. Because that girl did not just lose her chance of winning Love Island or winning the money. No, she lost her job. She lost what gets her money. Like, basically lost her whole reputation, which I'm here for because you don't play around with racism. But that's wild because like in 2 days, she literally lost everything.
I'm really thinking about Cierra's mental health right now because being kicked off of the show so unexpectedly in week, what are we in, 5 now, has to be really crazy. I feel like for Ulissa, you got kicked off the first day and she knew what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? She was saying that word every goddamn day. Cierra, I feel like this is a different situation. It's a bit more nuanced. I don't excuse anybody using slurs, but I just feel like it has to feel so jarring for her. Who knows how they told everyone, how they told her. Did they wake her up in the middle of the night and just be like, hey girlie, you gotta go, we found some old Instagram posts of yours? How did they tell the Islanders? Did they tell them exactly why she was leaving? I don't know. Something about it just feels a bit slightly inhumane. I'm in no way excusing her mistakes of the past, but I just feel for her. in a human way, you know. I hope that she is surrounded by people that love her right now, because as some of you may know and some of you might not know, there have been multiple people that left Love Island that went through the whole experience and came out and unalived themselves. So I hope that she's able to, you know, just be surrounded by love and be reminded that, like, this is something that unfortunately is just a consequence of some mistakes that she made, and you're not a bad person, girlie, okay?
All right, you guys. So that is what everyone had to say, okay, regarding Cierra being kicked out of the villa due to racial slurs. Okay. You guys leave your thoughts and comments down below. Let me know how you're feeling. Is there anyone with an ounce of, sympathy for her, feeling bad for her? I mean, Baby Tate just mentioned that there were people that have come out of the experience and unalived themselves. And I don't know if that is a place where Cierra is, but I definitely hope that she got whatever therapy she needed, and coming from that experience and just transitioning back into the world as she knew it before Love Island. But then also it's going to be a completely different world than what it was, okay, before Love Island. Right now, everybody knows your name. You're the topic of conversation for ain't no telling how long it's going to be, right? Brands might start to disassociate themselves from you more and more, potentially. Who knows? So, a very, very interesting turn of events, not only for Love Island, but for Cierra's life. But y'all let me know your thoughts about it, okay? I definitely am not excusing any behavior. However, just wanted to get you guys' thoughts and where you are with things and how you're feeling. But that's all that I have. I'm Jami, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim.